Reserve. See that? The Hooper Reserve. Like Mr. Hooper. Like Mr. Hooper from Sesame Street. That's right. They have something called the Hooper Reserve in Newport. They do. They really do. And I don't even know why it's called that or what it was for, but it really is called that. And they call it that because it's just so cool. I think it was designed as a tribute to Mr. Hooper because it appeared on a 1920 map, and he was about, his store must have predated 1920. I think Mr. Hooper must have predated 1920. I think he did, because he was always the oldest character on Sesame Street. But Kentucky Drive in Newport used to be called Hooper Street. It was called Hooper Street, which is really funny because it's just a few blocks north of High Street, which is where the fire hydrant was that looked like Bert from Sesame Street. There really was. There was a fire hydrant on High Street. At least it was there a couple years ago. I don't know if it's still there now. There's this fire hydrant on High Street in Newport. It looks like Bert's head. Except it looks, because of the chain on the fire hydrant. You know how like fire hydrants have a chain on them? It looked like he was wearing like a nose ring connected to his ear, just like Jane Child always did. That's what it looked like. And that was right by the Hooper Reserve. And the Hooper Reserve doesn't go that far south, unfortunately, but oh man, it would be hilarious if it did. That would be just the highlight of my day to discover that. See, but I've even updated the left map for that part of town with Hooper Street. So anyway, that's how it goes. And I don't know what's in the Hooper Reserve now. I think it's probably some houses, maybe some woods. That's what it looks like to me, according to this map. But last week I didn't get to do an episode because I had to go to the doctor last Friday because I had this ear infection. And the doctor said changes have to be made or else. Because I had this ear infection. My ear was completely clogged. I couldn't hear. So I went to the doctor, and that's why I didn't have time to do this last Friday. I wish I did, because then I could have told you about the Hooper Reserve back then. You know that Rick Schroeder's character on Silver Spoons was a spoiled baby. He was. Rick Schroeder's character on Silver Spoons was a spoiled brat. He really was. Because he had everything. He had everything. Ricky on Silver Spoons, he just had everything that he could possibly hope to imagine. And the thing is, it was useless stuff. It was stuff that was totally useless. Like, it was these giant crayons. Remember that on Silver Spoons? And a lot of sitcoms, though, were like that. There's a lot of sitcoms where the characters were just spoiled brats. But the Silver Spoons, I think it was even more like that, because he had the giant crayons. He had the train that comes through the room. Like it was almost like the trolley on Mr. Rogers. That's what it was like. Ding, ding, ding. Remember that? And he was so spoiled because he was always the kid on Silver Spoons. He was always saying to his dad, "You're a cheapskate." Remember that? He was always calling his dad a cheapskate. "Gee, Dad, you're a cheapskate." "You're a cheapskate because you won't buy me any more giant crayons." He sounded like he would have fit in real good at Brossard. "Dad, you're a cheapskate." But he was weird. And it turned out that Rick Schroeder The actor he grew up to be just like his character on Silver Spoons, because he turned out to be a big Republican. He was super right wing. He was a big Bush follower. But he's a has-been, so who cares about him anyway? Another has-been like that is Kirk Cameron, the actor who's in one of those '80s sitcoms. It was one of those. It wasn't. It was one of the ones I never watched. But it was. But it was one that everybody else watched at the time. It was so he's a real spoiled right winger now too. And another one is the actress that played Blair from Facts of Life. Yeah, Kirk Cameron, who was in Growing Pains. He's now like a big right winger, and so is the actress that played Blair from Facts of Life, and Rick Schroeder too. They're all spoiled right wingers. They are. They're spoiled babies. They just think they're owed everything in life, and yet they try to control everybody else's lives. They do. They really do. They're hypocrites. Kirk Cameron, he even appeared at the Conservative Political Action Conference. He did. He really did. So, and they give out the Ronald Reagan Award. But Ronald Reagan was probably even right-wing enough for them. And they also have the Defender of the Constitution Award. And the Blogger of the Year Award. Maybe I should win the Blogger of the Year Award. But, this was, all three of those, 80s sitcom actors, they're all has-beens now. And they're all right-wingers. Left Maps Router, my routing program I wrote, it even tells you, like if we tell it to go from Bellevue to Wilder, I don't think it tells you to go through the Hooper Reserve though, because that would be like way out of the way. But you can tell it's planning out a route. This is how it does, like this. See? Bellevue to Wilder, but we bypass the Hooper Reserve if we do that. See, but the Hooper Reserve would be like somewhere around in there. That's where the Hooper Reserve is. But if you want to go from, say, South Newport, because it knows South Newport, to Wilder, that might take you right through it, but I'm not sure about that either. Yeah, see, we go right by the Hooper Reserve. I don't know if we go directly through it, but it's right there. That's where the Hooper Reserve is. It's right there. So if you want to go from South Newport to Bellevue, or from South Newport to Wilder. But it takes on a bicycle, it says it takes 19.8 minutes to go 2.63 miles. Now that's a lot. I would guess it would take more than that. Because given the quality of the roads, as well as the terrain. So, that's the Hooper Reserve for you. So that's how... See, so that's the story of the Hooper Reserve and spoiled sitcom characters who grow up to become spoiled has-been actors.